Hello students, with me Miss Jessica. So since today is our first meeting, so before we begin our lesson, I hope that everyone already read the learning contract that already prepared on Edmodo. So if you did and without further ado, let's begin our lesson. Have you ever seen a house being built? Okay, so the house is being built by the bricks. They are glued together with another material. Am I right? Okay, it's right? So the same things happen with the living things, our body. So our body, human body, they are composed of the structures that we call as the cells. And in cells, all the life activities takes place, such as the secretions, excretion, synthesis, transportations, and many more. So, in short, cell is the smallest unit that composes the living things and the part that used for the functioning of the life. So, that's what you're going to learn today, the structures of the cells. So, like I have said before, the cells is the smallest structural and the functional unit of the living things. So the cells, they actually have the thin membrane that separated the cells with the environment that we call as the cell membrane. So the cell membrane and the cells usually partially permeable, which means that it only allows a certain molecules to pass through the cells. So my question is, what will happen if the cell membrane is not partially permeable, but it's freely permeable, which means that it allows all molecules, all materials to pass through the cells? What will happen? Do you know the answer? So if our cell membrane is freely permeable, it means that life could not exist. All the living things will die. What is the reason? So, because there is no filter, there is no something that separated that filter all the material, it means that all material from the surrounding environment will simply mix with the material inside the cells, and it could not be happen because it could be dangerous for our cells activity. So in short, all the life could not exist. Okay. So cells, they are divided into two, which are the plant cells and the animal cells. So now we are going to take a look at the animal cells. So this is the pictures of animal cells, and you can find the pictures on your textbooks, page 14. Page 14, everyone. Okay, so in these pictures, you can see there are some organelles of the cells, right? So let's take a look from the other side to the inner side. So at the very other side, you can see that there is the microphylla. Right after that, there is the cell membrane. And then what is next? The cytoplasms, yes. And then there's also next after that is the Golgi body, Golgi vesicle. And then there's also the lysosome, ribosomes, mitochondria, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum, centrosome, which consists of two centrioles, and the last one and the central part is the nucleus. Okay, so this is the pictures, the example of the animal cells of the human chicks. So in these pictures, you can see that the cells has a characteristic of animal cells. What's that? Anyone know? So in these pictures, you can see that the cells has a central nucleus, which is the characteristics of the animal cells. Let's take a look at the plant cells. So this is the pictures of the plant cells, and you can find the pictures on your textbook, page 4. So in these pictures, you can also see the organelles. Okay, so like the previous one, let's mention the organelles from the other side to the inner side. So the other side, you can see that there is the cell wall. Okay, and next after that, there is the cell membrane. And then after that, the plasmodesma, cytoplasms, middle lamella, chloroplast, Golgi body, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, and then there's the fat wall, which takes a big part of the cells, and then there's the chloroplast, and the last one is the nucleus. So one of the examples of these plant cells is the cells of the moss leaf. You can take a look at the pictures here, and what can you spot there? How can you say that this one, without the descriptions, you know that this is the plant cells? How do you know that? Anyone else know? So yeah, of course, it's green, right? So the green color, the green pigment, it's because of the chloroplast, and this is the characteristics, one of the characteristics of the plant cells. Now that we have learned about the structures of the plant cells and animal cells, can you mention the differences between those two cells? Okay, can you? So between those two cells, you can see that they have 5 differences. What are they? First is the animal cells, they have the centriole, while the plant cells, they don't. The second one, the plant cells, they have a cell wall, while the animal cells, they don't. The third one, the plant cells, they have the plasmodesma, while the animal cells, they don't. The fourth one, the animal cells, they have a the fourth one, in the plant cells, they have a big, permanent, and central fat wall, while for the animal cells, they have a temporary and a smaller fat wall. And for the last one, the plant cells, they have chloroplast, while the animal cells, they don't. Besides the plant cells and animal cells, there are also other types of cells, which are the bacterial cells and the virus. Now, let's take a look at the bacteria first. So, this is the pictures of the bacterial cells, and you can find it also in your textbook. So, in these cells, okay, before I explain about the structures, the organelle of the bacterial cells, let's first discuss some information about the bacterial cells. So bacterial cells, they are prokaryotes. Why we call them prokaryotes? Because they don't have the nucleus. So all organisms that don't have nucleus, we call it as prokaryote. And one of their example is the bacteria. Well, the cells that possess the nucleus, we call it as the eukaryotes. And plant cells and animal cells, there are 2 examples of the eukaryotes. So now let's take a look at the structures of the bacterial cells. So from these pictures, you can see that the bacterial cells, they have few organelles, right? Divided into 2. So let's take a look at the first one. You can take a look that there is the cell wall, alright, at the other side. After that, there is the cell membrane. They also have the cytoplasms. After that, they have the ribosomes. And next, they also have the circular DNA. All the structures always present in bacteria. It means all bacteria have all that structures. Then how about the additional features or the structures that only sometimes present in bacteria? It means that some bacteria have it, some bacteria don't. So the first one is the flagellum, which is used for the bacteria to move from one place to another place, or we call it as for locomotions. The second one is the capsule, which is used for the additional protections. The third one is the infolding of the cell's surface membrane, which may form the photosynthetic structures. The next one it's the plasmid, which contains the genetic informations, and the last one is the villi, which will attach to the other bacteria surface during their reproductions. So now I think that you all understand about the structures of the bacterial cells, and now let's move to the virus. Okay, now let's take a look at the pictures of the virus. So this is the pictures of the virus, and you can find the pictures on your textbook. So unlike the prokaryotes and eukaryotes, virus, they don't have the cell structures. It means that they don't have the partially permeable membrane, they don't have the cytoplasm, they don't have the ribosome and other organelles. So it means that they're much simpler in the structures, as they only have DNA or RNA as their genetic informations and a protective coat that we call it as the capsids. So all the virus, they are all parasites. Why they are all parasites? Because they can only live or reproduce or multiply themselves by taking over the other cells, or by destructing them. So yeah, all the viruses, they're bad. They are parasites. So that's all for our topic today. So how was it? Is it difficult? I think not, right? So after watching this video, I hope please do the exercise and don't forget to submit it on Edmodo. And see you next time. Bye.